Der alte Rebbe, schon mit Gerätschen einmal, mit darf reden noch einmal wegen dem. Der alte Rebbe von Anfang Tanje bis zu der Ende von der Kuta Amorem, wir können lernen und wir wissen nicht, was der alte Rebbe will. Der ganze Tanje rette wegen Ave wie ihre zu dem Eibischten. Der ganze Plan von der Tanje ist zu Masbe sein, also wie es steht, gekore, weil lecha dava miyoi. Und es steht in der Posik, ubelwovcha, und der alte Rebbe teitscht. Achutz, was der Plan pshat, ubelwovcha geht auf Machshove, beficha, ubelwovcha la soisois. Geht auf die 3 Levusche Machshove, dibel meise. Teitscht der alte Rebbe, ubelwovcha meint, die Mitzvah von Ave wie ihr. Und die ganze Kasche, wie kann man sagen, dass es Korov Miyoid, ist die Icke Kasche, ist auf Ave wie ihre. Wie bald, als Ave wie ihre, sehr schwer zu halten bei Ave wie ihre. Und da sagt der Eibischte, als es Korov wie Lecha Hadava Miyoid. Auf dem ist weggegangen die ganze Tanje, ist zu verämpfern, wie Ave und ihre sind in Korov Miyoid. So if you learn Tanya and you don't know that was the Shaila, then you don't even know, not only you don't know that was the Shaila, then you don't even know what is he trying to say and when does he answer the answer. Der Tanya hat sich nicht geendigt, bis man lernt die alle Mems. In den Mems hebt schon an der alte Rebbe reden wegen ihre, und nach dem Rette in Ave, Aza Ave, Naza Ave, und bis Vierteis hat das Korov, Miyoid. Aber was will der alte Rebbe? Der alte Rebbe, Ave wie ihre, ist nicht nur 2 Mitzvahs, was 2 Mitzvahs von Tayag Mitzvahs ist doch mäuerlich. Nur Ave wie ihre ist so wichtig, der alte Rebbe sagt schon in Perek Dalet, als wer ist nur der, was hat lieb dem Eibischten, nur der ist mit keinem Mitzvahs Beemes. Wir können nicht mit keinem sein Mitzvahs Beemes und Ave wie ihre. So ist nicht etwas Icing on the Cake. Am Machatese, Ave sei nicht Ave, ja Ave. Aber da hast dich kein Ave wie ihre, kann nicht haben den Mitzvahs Akiyum. Whatever the Pshat is Kiyum, aber bei Paul sagt der alte Rebbe, es kann nicht sein, was mit keinem sein, der Mitzvahs wie Emes, Apipashtis, Abenini darf 24 Jahre darf verhitten teure Mitzvahs. Ob du hast nicht eine Ave zu dem Eibischten und du hast nicht dem Jire zu dem Eibischten, wirst du dich können halten 24 Jahre in der Rahmen. So it's mandatory for the observance of the religion. Als ob es nicht haben, aber wie ihre, wirst du nicht, der Eibischte will, du sollst sein, Afumei 24/7, kennst dich bewartel sein, viele Eimen und bittelteure, noch so eine Sachen, was ist mordig schwer. Was ist der einzige Weg? Durch aber wie ihre. The Faz, it matet sich der alte Rebbe, he spends a whole Tanya, und steht doch, als Korov Miyoid, wie stimmt es? Auf dem geht weg die ganze Tanya. Sie getochen, aber man kann lernen die ganze Tanya, und ich habe nicht aufgehabt die Scheile, und ich habe nicht aufgehabt die Territz, you don't know what you're learning, you're out to lunch. You have to know that the ganze Tanya is given a Sabinian. There's a whole Mahalach. Fängt dann der Masbe sein, sie da eine Schommen, sie da eine Vishabamis, und man darf seine Beine nie, und man darf variieren, und dem kann man nicht sein, keine Beine nie, und man kann nicht, und es ist Korov Miyoid, wie das Korov Miyoid. Auf dem ist weggegangen die ganze Tanje. Ist als einer lernt nicht, hat nicht der Problem, Und hat noch nicht den Terz auf der Problem, hat nicht verstanden, was lernt. Then we don't even know what we're learning. That's kipshutai. I'm not saying the pshat from Tanya is the ganze Tanya redt sich, wie kann man haben Ave und Jire zu dem Eibsten. Ein alter Rebbe sagt, du kennst nicht schon Ave, aber du hast nicht freie Jire. You know, wie in das Korov Miyot. Complicated? Sagt der Eibste has a different opinion. He says that if you'll really put yourself into it, and you'll have all the things that the Alter Rebbe says, you'll follow his directions, you'll see that it's very possible. He's not going to say it's easy. It's going to be pretty not easy, but it's attainable if you follow all the instructions. So if we learn the Tanya, you learn the Tanya, and you don't even, this whole thing is not even on your mind about Afen. Here, you got other things. You want to cover the bank, or you want to, your wife send you to go shopping, and the Alter Rebbe has a different problem altogether here. So wie kann man das, so kommen wir heute, wie hat man Ave V'Yira, und was nicht schon Ave V'Yira, was nicht kennen sein Avene nicht. Was nicht kennen Neues für den Eibischen Ratz. So we better start learning the Tanya. Maybe we should go back and learn the Tanya right. Was will the Tanya? Als Emerson wird euch fragen, kennt mich einfach sagen, was ist das Tanya? Was will du? Ja, ein ehrlicher Jid, ja, warte, ja, okay, everyone knows that. Will sein ein ehrlicher Jid. Aber was badet ihm, zu wem redet was will will, als ein Chassid von dem alten Rebben, soll haben Ave V'Yira. And you have to learn the whole Tanya, whole Likutei Amorim, to understand that. So was will ich herausbringen? It's not even on our agenda. This is the last thing we were worried about. When was the last time you were thinking about your Ave V'Yira? Can you tell me? I'm not picking on you, but anybody here, will you ever lose sleep about your Ave V'Yira? Huh? Ja, der alte Rebbe sagt, auf dem hat weggestellt, vom Perek Yudches bis Chafei, an andere Sort, Ruchan Ktsara. In der Ktsara meinte das bei jedem, die macht Tag so mit dem Kopf, aber wenn gewinnt der letzte Tag, darf nicht sagen bei Rabbim, aber wenn hast du getracht wegen dem, der alte Rebbe will, du sollst haben Ave V'Yira, und es geht nicht. Oder du hast sich bejaht gewesen, also man meint nicht dir. Man redet wegen anderen. So du hast getracht, nehmen meint mehr. Ihr seid sehr süße Jid. Ich schon ausgechasset alle Teures. Hat sich schon gepattet von aller Weides. Also wie es schwer, mein Mund nicht heint. Aber ich will auch sagen, dass der alte Rebbe, was Mund, ist ja möglich. Weil he takes in consideration who we are, aber macht Cooles. Man kann sei sich missbeunen, Gott in dein Kopf soll bei dir sich ablegen, aber wird gedacht, lieb Humasasot Eibishter. Das kennst du euch nicht. So, der alte Rebbe covers every base und weiß, dass wir sind Feulakes und redet allem bei Juduai Koamine und gibt in Sachen, was wir können ja halten bei dem. Aber sagt an dem, kannst du gar nicht forget about it. Wirst du nicht kennen sein, aber kein Mitzvahs. Bei ihm ist. Bemeile, so was will ich aber rausbringen? Man darf doch gedenken, alles ist Gebäude auf Tanya. Ganz Chassidus ist auch auf Tanya. darf man gedenken, was will der Tanje. Der Tanje mont der derach gezorra, von Perek Yud Ches bis Chaf Hei, monte als a Yid darf verstehen, als Achtes Hashem ist nicht gehet sein ganzer Verbund in dem Eibischten. Achtes Hashem ist a Chelik von Emunas Hashem. In der Emunas Hashem wird a Yid weggegeben sein ganzes Leben nicht zu seiner Käufer. Ob du glaubst nicht in Achtes Hashem or you're acting against Achtes Hashem, bist du derselbe Käufer. Das monte und das darf jeder Yid arbeiten auf sich. Das monte Alter Rebbe von everybody. It takes a lot of work, even this derech getzara. Because he doesn't ask us to have a real Ava. We have that Ava, we just have to be ma'oyer it, but you got to pay attention. And you got to, we don't even have patience to give it attention. We don't even take it so serious. We look in our bank statements with much more attentiveness than what it says in Tanya. We don't take it as serious. You understand that that's the diagnosis over here. We don't take religion that serious. The Alter Rebbe paints the whole situation that if in the Eibishter's presence, everything is kala. It doesn't exist. That's not called existing. And we have to be on that focus, that in the Eibishter's presence, there's nothing else. So you can't make a Metzias, anything that's in this world as a Metzias, then it's Kaifer, you're Kaifer the Eibishter. So what's missing? We have to learn what the Alter Rebbe says. It has to register in our mind that it makes sense that he has a point. And then we have to take it serious. But the Alter Rebbe, that's the Aleph base of Tanya. Or else we don't even know what we're learning in the Tanya. I want to tell you a secret. All the Prokim, ihr versteht Englisch, ich will reden auf Jiddisch. Huh? Die alle Prokim in Tanya von Chavav, wegen Machschavis und Ba'averes, das ist nicht der Tanya. Der Tanya redet wegen Ave V'yir. Aber du kennst doch haben ein Problem mit dem Problem, dem Problem, dem Problem, will ich dir sagen, how to get rid of those problems. But nicht the Tanya is gekommen to teach us about the problems. It's a very positive Tanya. It's talking about was darfst du ja kochen sich. Aber du wirst haben Probleme, gell ich dir sagen, was zu tun mit, like, get them out of your way. Aber was will ich ja sagen? Und was ist the positive of the Tanya? Wie so ja Jid darf trachten den ganzen Tag wegen dem Eibischen und kann nicht sein ein Käufer von dem Eibischen und das heißt Kfire Bach Dussoi. If it's Kfire Bach Dussoi, heißt es ein Käufer im Ganzen. It's like he's schmatzig. But it makes sense what he's saying. It's not just he's saying preaching. He gives it to explain. Man hoeft zu verstehen, dass es darf sich legen bei sich im Kopf, that it makes taka sense that that's called Kfire. Bedakis. Aber das ist our Lebens, we could live 50 years working on that. That should be how we're thinking. Meint das von jedem Chassid. You can't say it's von Amal, von beidem Klotz. Der Tanya ist doch gegeben zu jeder Jid. So we're not taking the Tanya seriously. We don't even know what he's talking about. It's like, you could think it's a collection of a lot of issues. It's a very direct issue. It's Ave V'yireh. That's what you got to have in order to keep mitzvahs. But I'm going to tell you, you have issues. I'll tell you how to get rid of the issues. Get rid of them. But what should you be busy on? Ave V'yireh. What's the Ave V'yireh b'derech yitzarah? You don't have to have a new Ave. Your whole Metzias is a shtik Ave to the Eibishter. You have to be me'oira who am I? What am I doing to myself when I do an Aveira? What am I doing to myself when I do a mitzvah? If you pay attention to what I told you, and it makes sense, and you pay attention to it, you could be exactly what Eibishter wants from you. The issue is not how do I become a somebody? How do I graduate Beinani? Or how do I graduate? We're not here to graduate anything. We're trying to understand just what does the Eibishter want from me. Tanya is megale sein zu a Yid, was will der Eibishter von dir? So that's what the Tanya is telling you. He wants you to be a Beinani. How could you be a Beinani? You have to use your head, and you have to develop a feeling. If you don't have that head, I'll give you an easier way. But you got to choose, but you got to go on one of these ways. Potter b'loi klum yefshar. Can't say it's nicht von mir. Der Alte Rebbe sagt, ja von dir. Beste wird gewähnt, derech harucha. You can't derech harucha. Do derech tzara. Derech tzara is a lifetime project. It's not like 1, 2, 3. That a person should hold that if he thinks this samatzias, he's really playing with Achdas Hashem, he's playing with the Eibishter, it takes a lot of work, a lot of concentration. But emontas, or else what am I a chassid? How am I a Lubavitcher chassid b'chlal? You're looking at me like I'm from Mars? Huh? Do I have a point? You're not so sure. Huh? Oh, you might want to have a talk with him, and you have any advice? How? He's telling you the truth. He can't. What should he hide the truth? He has to tell you what he thinks is the truth. In other words, the Eibishter Mond von Ayid, und sagt noch, as es koroi vadova miyoid. What Alter Rebbe is if you. So the truth is, I'll tell you a secret. When no one will listen, I'll tell you. On the long derech harucha, the Rebbe has a tzarachin, because the derech harucha, it's also kikar v'lecha shteitach after derech harucha too. And the Alter Rebbe says in the mems, in the early mems, the Alter Rebbe says that you have to have yigiyas nefesh and you have to have yigiyas basar. And if you have sins on your conscience, it's going to be very hard for your heart. So the Rebbe asks, Vadai in Sorachin, after the Alter Rebbe later on in the mems tells you that you're going to have to work your head off, yigiyas nefesh, yigiyas basar, Vadai in Sorachin, eichu kol miyot. You understand? But the party line is, it's kol miyot. In other words, as I verstehe, the Eibishter is, so it is hard. So, it's possible. He's not saying it's easy. Korov, Lamashal, if you look in the Chumash, what is the opposite of Korov? He says, Loi b'shamayim, he loi me'ever layam. It means, if it's me'ever layam, it's not attainable.
They complain.
But so the Torah says it is attainable, but you're going to have to sweat your head off 24/7, not just in the morning, at night. You can't lose your control. You have to be balanced, focused 24/7 for the rest of your life, not just one day, Yom Kippur. But the Eibishter Montes, it's attainable. But it's going to be very hard. The Derech HaTzara, it sounds like that it's not even that hard. What? Yeah. But the word "nont" means no that it's shaykh. The alle Yidden, was eine gewähnt Beinenim, haben geharvet geschwitzt. Ich habe gesehen, ihr habt vielleicht nicht gesehen, not in your days, ich habe gesehen Rav Noson. You understand? There wasn't a move in his life that he didn't overwork himself. There was nothing he did that was without tremendous effort. A regular bracha, a amen, a shalom aleichem. Everything he turned all red. And he like strained himself. You know, yigiyah. Every nekuda was yigiyah. A niggin was by him also, whole avodah. There was not, he told, I don't know if I told you, it was a beautiful story. I heard it from a Gera Chassid who lived in Paris where Rabbi Noson lived, in Bernois. Somehow his parents lived in that little shtetl or whatever, that suburb of Bernois. And he was 8 years old. So Rabbi Noson called him over. He was like he lived in that neighborhood, so Rav Noson called him over, and hat ihm gesagt, wie so ein darf sich legen schlafen. Hast du schon gehört von mir das? A Nacht, you're alt Kind. Sagte, was heißt, man geht schlafen? What, are you retiring? What is this? Man darf doch nicht in einem Ebenstehen. Was heißt, man geht schlafen, man zieht sich aus. Now hat Rav Noson gesagt, man geht schlafen, man geht auf der Arkade. Du weißt doch nicht, dass du stehst auf morgen. Kann sein, that's it. Bei Meile, der gehst schlafen, darfst du fühlen, du bist der Korban. Und der Bett ist der Mizbeach. Und du gehst dich immer zum Eibst. He freaked him out. And he told him that you have to sleep like that. You have to put your hands, sleep with your hands on your head, like how Avram hat gemacht im Akeda. And so schlaft man. Man schlaft also eingebunden zum Menschen.
Serious? You told him that?
No, I'm not serious.
You made it up.
You hear? And he told me, this man, that Rav Noson, in the last days, he always slept like that. And he had moire dicke Nebuch Yisurim, even to pick up his hands. But as I schlafen, was heißt man schlaft? Some people like, mit zieht sich aus, I say, now I'm going to be myself. Chas Fischer, it's a carbon. Now you're first going on the Mizbeach. Now the Taish is you're retiring. Whatever you did the whole day is for that. Now you're first giving the chova. You understand? So I saw a man, there was nothing he did that was not with avodah. It's like amazing. His benching, his saying a bracha, when he sang a niggin, he was working, he was clapping on the table, either his hand would fall off or the table would fall. Everything was avodah for him. He got red, he got up at 2, 3 in the morning, every day. He would say whole Tillim and whole Tanya by heart. And then what Tzachash genommen line Chassidus from 3 in the morning. You understand? The guy was working like a chamor. His davening, his learning, his everything. Everything he learned, he memorized. Every mimer he got came from the Rebbe, he memorized them whole mimer. Everything is a lot of straight. He was one big straight. He wasn't a Korov Meyoidik, a lazy guy. He Korov Meyoid, but he worked his head off. You can't imagine. Like what it says in Tanya, Kishor La'or, Kahai Tura, the Yavina La'or B'Kadmisa, you saw this on him? He walked in the street. You should see him walk like a soldier he walked. His Shalom Aleichem to somebody. It was like nuts. So you saw a person who all his life avoided gehorevet and gehorevet and gehorevet. Hepech tivoi. A mensch is a chafoy leklotz. Avde befkere nichelei. Und et gehorevet and gehorevet and gehorevet. He never retired. States what asleep was by him. geht sich erstellen Korb vom Eibischen. That was how he wanted an 8-year-old boy to go to sleep. All these Beinim didn't have an easy life. They worked their head off. And in the time from the Rebbe Rashab, mit gestorben von der Weite. You know what means gestorben? Mit gestorben. You think he closed down the yeshiva? It's getting too far? No. Keep on going. Gestorben. Next. There were more dicke Bochum mit Gehorovit. There was this Rab Shilem. Rab Shilem was later the Mashpia. That's what I heard. When he came to Lubavitch, he came up with a uniform like he was, I think, a basketball player. So he came Pashat in Lubavitch. He didn't exactly look like he fell off, you know. And he had a hard, difficult head. It was so Gehorovit that he became the Chayzer from the Rebbe Rashab. The Rebbe Rashab could say a mimer for 3 hours. Und hat gechazet every word from the Hirt. Und hat so gehoret. Der Rebbe Rashab hat gesagt auf ihm, als nicht gewähnt hat, Koich bei ihm, was hat nicht übergearbeitet. He died in his 30s. It's not like it took him a long. You understand? He horrible. He davened once Nile und hat gedavened noch später wie der Rebbe Rashab. Since the minion und hat noch gedavened, hat der Rebbe Rashab gesagt, der geht nicht essen. Calls man Shilem davened, the gates in heaven didn't close yet. You understand what's going on? Who was he? It's not he was on the Shomer dat Silas. Aber hat gehorvet. Hat sich übergearbeitet. And later the Rebbe Rashab said that the whole Lubavitch was worth it for him to have such a one guy. But was he given in Yonoi? Gehorvet. Heipach Tivoi. A Klotzkopf. Ich geworden von der tiefste Verstehers. We are lazy, good for nothings. We're going to say, "Oh, how is it Korov Miyoit? What did you try?" Like it's a joke. We don't even have the shaila. By us, we have a shaila. How it's Korov Miyoit? As it was hard, a paar Jahr, und nachdem ist haben ein Problem, kann verstehen, Korov Miyoit. But we're lazy, good for nothing. What do we do? Can you tell me? Do you go around asking, "Hey, Eichel Korov Miyoit?" Let's be honest, huh? Mit seiner Fäule klotzen. So how do you expect Chassidus should? What did we invest? How much did we invest? Huh?
What's the answer?
Taking it seriously. We gotta take Chassidus seriously. This is serious business. The Eibishter gave us such material. He was megala to us his most deepest secrets. What did he give it to us? For us just to play ball with it? If he gave it to us, we got to make use of it. We're going to have to answer. You got the whole material. What's your excuse? What are we going to answer? Ich red zu sich. Gibakuk, the Alter Rebbe says in a Maimah, I have to remember where, was wird sein will in I'm making you depressed? Everybody? We're talking the truth. We're talking the truth that we're lazy bumps. Und man darf sich nehmen zu der Arbeit. So for was soll man werden depressed? Man darf sich nehmen zu der Arbeit. I don't understand. It's better I should say, "Oh, you're such a good boy. You're really, the Alter Rebbe is like, have so much nachas." It was worth his whole mysterious nefesh in jail to produce this Rebbe Malik. The ganze Golus is given vet azah choshev yingaman. Yeah? You want to hear that? Zeich ist wichtig, right. Richtig, ja. I bemeile das so. Mir retto nicht Chas v'Sholem, mir retto nicht wegen Chas v'Sholem zu sein bei Atzmis. Mir rett zu sein realistisch. Also wie sie da heint scheutem. Was willen sich verdrehen den Kopf? Heint macht man nicht die Sachen und was soll ich haben von dem, weil ich kann sein weiter lazy. Und I can do everything I want to do und gibt sich noch als und ich kann noch sagen, heint macht man nicht das. So bin ich mache so mit die, dass das ist Schecker, because of, and there's nothing more further than the truth, then nothing changed, and the Eibishter wants this, and the Rebbe wants this, the whole Chassidus is made to take it to heart, and to really talk to ourselves, and get busy on these inyanim. Nothing changed. And I'm a living witness. I started off saying that I know that the Rebbe spoke to every bacher like that. So nothing changed. Hazelach avoide, et gemont avoide. What? You can nicht. I can't hear. Kabbalah soil, aber alles gemont. Kein die suchst Teurheit, die fährst Tisch, heit bin ich der Tischführer. Du such mir nicht, was der Rebbe hat gemont. Der Rebbe hat gemont, Reiches avoide darf man haben Kabbalah soil. Und nicht dort zu wem zu reden, Bechlau. Aber hat gewollt, was sag mehr von dem. Het gewollt als Sach mehr für dem. The ganze Chassidus is out the window. Es kann doch nicht sein, also. It doesn't even make sense. Ich will dir sagen, eine gewaltige Sache. I once said it here. You look in the Melein der Fiedeke Rebbe Siches, wenn ist angekommen in Amerika, der erste paar Jahre, when there was a Holocaust, I have to tell you what was going on. It was going on in Europe. Millions of Yidden were Rahman al-Islam. What did the Fiedeke, and sometimes in the middle of the Farbrengen, he would say, jetzt ist ernste Zeit, and he said, he was Maramis by the Farbrengen, what's going on? Was hat gemeint? In these Siches, look in Toshin Gimel, Toshin Dal, when there was a Holocaust in Europe, right? And Friedrich Rebbe hat das also zum Herz genommen, man weiß doch also von Meises. After became, it milks it up, look, open up the Siches for the Friedrich Rebbe.
No.
He talks the whole time, he's talking about Avodah. To American Jungelite who just woke up. What is the topic? You would think, now you're talking about Avodah. Come on, Rebbe, there's millions of Jews. Let's talk about something more, current events. What is the Friedrich Rebbe? Look, it's like mamish unbelievable. Es hat nicht eins mit der Zweite. Es ist ein meure dicke Eisrotzen, Eissar, und man darf von meiner Schuhe. Aber man darf tun, was Chassidus will. So you'll see, that's the Pelle, that he doesn't change, nothing changes. It's kedai for you to see it with your own eyes. That those years, what the Friedrich Rebbe went through, hearing what happened to this Yid and that Yid, he was pushed sick begashmis. You know, he got letters from people, they found him once on the floor. He chalished. He was pushed sick. The Rebbe would hide the letters that the Friedrich Rebbe shouldn't read these letters. You know what the Rebbe took a risk? He mixed in to open up the letters from what was sent to the Friedrich Rebbe, if there was psuros who was missing or whatever, he never gave that letter to the Rebbe. You know what Achayis, the Rebbe, by him the Frierdiker Rebbe, because he knew this is Sakanas Nefashos. And at the same time that he knew what was going on with Klal Yisrael, was rettet to the Tmimim in Tzanash, was wohnen in America, wie soll man darf davenen, soll man darf sich nehmen, wie soll darf man lernen Chassidus. It's an amazing lesson. You know what I'm saying? That should be an eye-opener. Chassidus doesn't change. Such investment of Chassidus, all the Rabbeim, what was their Inyan? Their main Inyan was teaching Megala Chassidus. And Bechtei to Machen Chassidus. So that's Iker in Yonam. Iker in Yonam of the Nasiya Chabad was to be Megala Chassidus, not just for information, to have some interesting information. You know, there's more important things to worry about than interesting information. This was their whole Indian. That was the whole, in the whole Seder Stalschluss, das Mansach. Das will der Eibischt. So you see from this that nothing is going to change. If we learn a Perek Tanya, the Alter Rebbe didn't just say a nice Perek. He wanted to freak us out with this Perek. I'm going to tell you such powerful words. If you really, I want you to take it to heart, and that's going to change your whole life. Because he says such unbelievable things to you. He calls the world in Perek Aleph from Tanya. The whole world is Sitracha. Why is it Sitracha? Dem allein, was ich sehe, nicht in dem Gashmi, der Rebbe steht uns beschaffen, das ist ein Stück Sitracha. It's a whole different way of looking at the world. There's a cover-up. It's a lie. It's a major lie. And you have to know it's a lie, and you have to always remember it's a lie and fight for it in your head. This is all a lie. It's not the way it looks like. It's a whole different way of looking at life. So why did Alter Rebbe tell it to us? Just interesting topics. He wants that we should live by it. He definitely wants we should take that serious. I have no other explanation why he had a serious nefesh. He almost left the world. He was told that because he does this, he's going to have to leave the world. So his daughter, Baruch Hashem, went instead of him, and he was Makabel. But he wasn't going to stop. If I have to die, I'll die, but I'm keeping up. Why? To give out some interesting information? Do I have to die for that? The Alter Rebbe wanted that should be how we should live. So there's no change. Chassidus is not suggestions, some good suggestions that might be useful. You're talking, it's mandatory. So gekommen die Zeit, was man darf sagen dem Emes. Was ist der Emes? Und der Emes wird sein, was er sein Yosef Love. Man darf sich zukreden zu dem Emes. So there's no other way to explain that Alter Rebbe wanted that we should take it very much to the heart. He's going to give up his life for it, and we're not going to even make a blink. Is there a possibility like that? Muss man doch sagen that Alter Rebbe said, if I'm alive, if I'm not going to, I'm going ahead with this. This is the Kavanah Yoina. That's der Betachtoinim. I'm going to have Mrs. Nefesh for it. So it's a klippe v'sitra acha zu trachten als Heint, don't take it to heart. Don't get carried away. It's okay, everything is okay. It's good, it's okay. It's okay? Mi sheyesh lo moyach b'kodkodoi could understand that the Alter Rebbe means very much what he's saying. And he wants us to take it very much to heart. And we should live by it. And we should give up our lives for it. He said it in the mems, in the end of the mems. Avegeben anything, your wife, your parnasse, everything for the Eibishter. Mod das. So good. Now you really scare me. After all this, you mean till now I was talking fairy tales? Mit darf lernen, Tanya, which is the Yisoid, wissen, das, was der Alte Rebbe sagt, das ist das. Das ist nicht etwas in der Eulema. Das ist der, should be my emes, not an emes von einer anderen Welt. It has to become my emes. Der Alte Rebbe sagt das so, wenn ich verstehe eine Sache, und ich verstehe es, wird es achelig von mein Seichel. Mein Seichel sagt das so. When a person understands it, it means it becomes my Seichel says so. I'm convinced with my Seichel as a takazai. We have to learn Tanya to the point as it's takazai. Not because the Rebbe says so. I understand the point he's saying, and I understand as it's takazai. That's the taich. It's takazai. You understand what I'm talking now? Na, heißt was er sagt? Ha? Es ist takazai. Och ein Neude hat es ist takazai. Das ist der Teich Seichel. Seichel sei in Pnimi. Was ist Pnimi? Es wird mein Seichel. Wenn ich verstehe, er sagt grundig, ist mein Seichel, sagt er sei. Ich bin nicht nur mit Kabel, was jene sagt, ich verstehe euch, als er sei. So if we'll learn Tanya, which is the side of everything, and we'll take it serious, it'll be a whole different limit. First of all, you have to learn Tanya a lot of times to understand where is he going, what's the hemshech on Yonim. You have to learn it very good. And then you have to learn it, everything that the Rebbe says, you have to, es ist takazai. Was schreibst du? Auf the plastics, auf deine Notes. Es darf sich ablegen bei mein Seichel, as es takazai. Don't give out the Rebbe credit. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. No. It means I have to understand with my Seichel as takazai. That means ich habe es herangenommen in es ist geworden mein Seichel. Hello? Does that make any sense to you? If you learn what Alter Rebbe says, and he says that if a person makes out of anything a metzius, he's really a koifer in the Eivishter. You have to understand that al pi seichel, how does he get to that point? That's a pretty sharp, very heavy load. But if it doesn't make sense even in your head, then you didn't understand it. It has to register, hey, that's taka what it is. That's what the Alter Rebbe wants. Es darf sich ablegen in Chabad, als ist takazai. Not just I'm saying what the Alter Rebbe says. I gotta say it. at least in my seichel, then there is a hope I'm going to do something about it. But because I understood it with my seichel as a tachas, it has a very deep effect on the person. Because that we are be'etzim, that's who we are. I tell you, I myself, till I started giving shiurim and Tanya, I never really understood the Tanya. You could learn, and you could say over here, there, but you're not picking up what he wants. You don't see even the connection. It sounds like a collection of many different topics. He definitely has a very direct plan, what he wants you to know. And he's just on the side telling you a lot of very important things. To get this out of the way, get that out of the way. But what he wants, he didn't finish that till the mems, till the end of the mems. He didn't even finish he didn't even finish his whole point. Because he wants to know how Ava V'yir is Karav Miyoyit. And that he didn't even address before the mems. First he makes the condition you have to have Yira. And Yira, what's Yira? Then he talks about Ava, and then different kinds of Ava, and how this Ava, maybe that, out to find a way that it's Karav. Then he finds a way, V'yesh derech yosho shovelach olish. Then he says even later, I'll give you another Ava that it's Karav Miyoyit. He's giving us different yecholos how to have Ava V'yir of some kind. Why? Because you're not going to be able to be a frum Jew if you don't have Ava V'yir. So if I don't even work on my Ava V'yir, I'm not even following what I'm still in an elementary school. I'm not even involved in what he wants. Does that make any sense? Huh? Yeah. And in yeshivas, you don't even hear mashpiyim talking about that. I never heard such words. Somebody said, Kabbalah soil, Kabbalah soil. Kabbalah soil is just reishas avodah. That's not the avodah. It's just hachala. We never learn Tanya right. Because when you're young, you want mainly everyone should work on machshava dibur ma'aseh. So mekocht sich in Kabbalah soil, machshava dibur. But that's just the haschala. That's not what we call Chabad Chasidim. You could be a Chagas Chassid and have Kabbalah soil. It's both. You can't be full of clippers. You're not going to have no Ava V'yira if you're loaded with clippers. Your heart's going to be clogged. You're going to need Drano. So you need to have Hiskaflia Pashit. You can't have Ava V'yira and eating ice creams, potato chips. It's not going to happen. That's number one. Number two, he talks about every time a skaf alone is very chashuv by the Eibishter. But you don't have to be a Chabad Chassid for that. You could be a Chagas Chassid. You know what I'm saying? You believe in the Eibishter and he wants you to hold yourself back, and hold yourself back. You don't have to be mizboinen in anything. You don't have to. You could be a Chagas Chassid. The Alter Rebbe puts so much emphasis how it's important for a person to understand, to internalize it, that you yourself, your Nefesh Abamis, is convinced. he's very much into working on your nefesh abamis. To be ma'oira the nefesh of the kids, you don't have to be mizbainin so much. It's already turned on to the Eibishter. The Alter Rebbe has a whole thesis. The whole Yeridus and Neshama is for the nefesh abamis. The only way to get to the nefesh abamis is through his baininess and this kind of his baininess. So in other words, he goes l'shitasa. Because he first of all, he holds that you're not going to find in other Chassidus too much about a nefesh abamis. This whole idea that there's two people is only really in Tanya. I'm not a Baki in all Chassidus, but I never saw something to make this whole concept of a nefesh abamis. So the Alter Rebbe talks about a nefesh abamis right already in the first parak of Tanya. It's like you can't miss it. A blind bat can't miss it. It starts in the first parak. And he's going and going and going. It's all about the nefesh abamis. Then he tells you the only way to change your nefesh abamis is through his baininess, such as baininess, such as baininess that your nefesh abamis is going to relate to. So in other words, but just for a skafye, you don't need to be a Chabad Chassid for that. Hello? There's a lot of Chassid. What?
So where do you see the Chabad Chassid? The half of the year is not Chabad Chassid?
No. The Alter Rebbe puts very tremendous emphasis on learning about Gadlus Hashem and being mizboinin in Gadlus Hashem, and that's supposed to affect your heart, your nefesh abamis' heart. The only way you could relate to your nefesh abamis is if you think about such things that the nefesh abamis could relate to. You're going to speak to him about the Eibish's Soiv of Kalam, fantastic. I couldn't care less. Tell me if it's going to taste good, I'll buy some Soiv of Kalam. So, in other words, the Alter Rebbe has a shitta, and he starts off, you can't miss it, that there's such a thing as a nefesh abamis, not a Yetzer Hara, a nefesh abamis, a whole person. So you're starting off with a much bigger problem. If you just had a Yetzer Hara, okay, I'm not the Yetzer Hara, I have a Yetzer Hara, so I'll deal with it. Now you got a much bigger problem. That's who you are. You're not getting rid of you so fast. You are a one big nefesh abamis. And that's in your dam, that's your whole mitzias. And then he tells you, and guess what? On one hand, the bad news is that's our whole mitzias. On the other hand, that's what you came down for, is to change that. But you can't change it without his boininess. There's no way that you're going to change your nefesh abamis without his boininess. How do you change a person's heart? It starts with your head. You have to internalize it, and you're convinced. Then your nefesh abamis could get it. So I'm saying is, it's a whole different avoider. It's an avoider that mind plays a very important role. When other Chassidus, that's not your avoider b'chlal to be mizboinin. The Rebbe should do that. Tzadik b'munasa yichyu, you're bekasher yourself to a Rebbe, but this boinus, you should start. No such a thing. Because the Alter Rebbe says that we have a nefesh abamis, and he holds that the whole reason we came down, it's not a small piece of information. That's the whole reason he came down, is to change him. So the Alter Rebbe says, if you're not going to have his boininess, first you have to learn, then you have to have the mizboinin, then it could affect your heart. When do you need that? When is this an issue? If you just have a Yetzer Hara, you don't have to have his boininess in Gadlus Hashem. You need a good stick. You give him one whack. Every time he picks his head up, you whack him. But this is a whole different part. It's hapche oder viele, man halt nicht bei es Hapche, aber man darf den nehmen, dem Nefesh Habamis, als allein soll euch wollen dieselbe Sache, was der Nefesh Elkes will. Hagam als was will, ist ein anderer Favos. Aber du darfst mit dem mitarbeiten, als soll stimmen mit deinem Nefesh Elkes. Soll wollen dieselbe Sache, was dein Nefesh Elkes will. Der Voice, es ist mit darf den nehmen mein Nefesh Habamis. Okay, aber whatever it is, zu den nehmen den Nefesh Habamis, soll werden weicher und soll nicht so viel berichten, das durch Asach lernen und betrachten, bis as mein Seichel sucht as euch. Them complicated is a very, unfortunately, if complicated makes it a reason. Der alte Rebbe Montes, ich würde sagen also, stell dich vor, let me give you a picture, a scenario. Wenn ich soll reingehen zum Rebbe, wat ich gekannt sagen, wenn der Rebbe mund etwas zu mir, ja, Leute wie ich gedenkt der Rebbe, und ich habe also viel Verbringens gehört, wat ich gekannt sagen zum Rebbe, es ist sehr schwer. What do you think, what be behind my mind? What Rebbe said, oh, in that case, I take it back. I'm so sorry. What do you think the Rebbe would say? You know, you don't even have to think. And so what? You're guide them, it's awesome. It's not even in our vocabulary to say it's too hard. That's a reason to do it. That's not a reason not to do it. It's not even in the vocabulary.
When you're going to hear the Rebbe say the Agaita, then that itself will give you that clear.
But the word is that was Chassidus meint, me weiß, dass es schwer. Aber auf dem hat man dir gegeben, auf dem hast du solche gewähnt zu lernen, Chassidus, auf dem hast du solche gewähnt zu... In other words, that is self-understood. Nicht doch kein Gering. Kedusha Bechlal nicht doch kein Gering. It was never easy to know one. That wasn't even the topic. You would be embarrassed to say to the Rebbe, it's hard. You wouldn't even able to say it. Well, because you know already what the Rebbe would say. It's schwer, noch besser. It's not even an excuse by the Rebbe. That's a reason, l'chiv, not a reason. It's very interesting, but you don't find this by no Chassidim. To say this, could you imagine somebody will say to the Rebbe, "Se nish bakvem." You would never even have a dream to say such a grubber word to the Rebbe. He says, "Nish bakvem." Nish bakvem. Could you think that would be it would go far? It's a different Chassidus, this Lubavitcher Chassidus. Who says it's supposed to be easy? So the word is that it's a Taurus. Karev does not mean easy. We have to change the translation. Karev means it's possible, it's accessible, but not easy. If you break your head off, your schwitz buckets, it's possible. You only need to know that it's possible. To be easy, no one ever guaranteed you that. No one ever told you that. Who says it's supposed to be easy? There's a famous story that someone went into the Tzemach Tzedek, and he said to him, "As will sich mir nicht lernen." Ich hab nicht gecheshet. So the Tzemach Tzedek said, "Ich hab a größere Problem. Mir will sich ja lernen." What's the pshat? Als will sich lernen, ist nicht der Sache. So you are lucky. Als will sich dir nicht, you see how the
So Mutter looks at it.
yes. Als die schwer, doch sehr gut.
Das ist gut, das ist eine ganze Weile.
You understand? It's coming from a different...
Well,
Just try to tell to the Rebbe, it's nicht bequem. You would never, you will never dare say such a thing. You would get it over the head, you wouldn't know.
Du darfst dich im Ganzen immer machen.
Get Yontif Ayid, it took you, how long did it take you? Oh, aber
Alles ist gar nicht, mehr ist gar nicht. Die Welt ist it's not black and white, 100% zero. Ja, aber
my entire, it's a whole life's avoided. But you gotta start. You're asking a very good question. It's a ibekanish. Give a look at the Alter Rebbe says, this whole world is hell, oilam is helam. It's totally not what it looks like. Could you imagine? That's pretty heavy stuff. Just for starters. What's the taich? Oilam, oilam aloshin helam. It's telling you the opposite. It looks the opposite of the truth. Not it's a little bit tilty. It's the opposite of the truth. Bereshis bar Elokim. The first thing you got to know is this world, the way it looks, it's a fat lie. It's not what it looks.
not what it is.
So this is morbid. So if you take a lot of things that see this, you add it up, Simont anibekenish. Whatever you see is not totally the opposite. That's not reality. Reality is not what you think it is. This is so when a person learns Chassidus and he thinks it over, he's supposed to be convinced, at least b'shas ma'aseh, it's takazai. It's taka, not reality. And if he keeps at it and at it and at it, day in and day out, something is going to happen. At least when he's going to be involved in a big stake, it's a bissel shem. So that's already something. There is such a word that somebody wrote to the Rebbe, one of the Rebbe Rashab, he complained that. So he says, at least, jetzt hast du von wem sich zu schämen. If you didn't learn Chassidus, you don't even know that there's something wrong about these things. At least now you're embarrassed, because you have a different reality. Hello? That's also a big accomplishment. Hello? I'm the same as you. Don't think I'm any different. But I understand that if I work on this, add it, and add it, and add it, and add it, it's a life avoid. This is not a 1, 2, 3. And a life avoid. So always remember what's real and what's not real. It's a big mochama. Because we live on this gashmistic world, and this world looks real. And here we're saying Hashem Echad, and vermachte Eugen, but nichosh geöffnete Eugen bashma. I think we should maybe have this takana to open up a little bit the fingers, to look at the world while we're saying Echad, because when it's closed eyes, it doesn't cost anything to say there's nothing. Maybe we should give a peek. Like this, you see, there is that world that I see is finished. It's a big mochama. Ah? Platz. Ich will dir sagen, als du ob du wirst platzen, das ist eine große Sache. Ja. Ich sehe noch nicht, wie man platzt. Yeah, don't worry about the kavan. That would be a big accomplishment that that you're a little bit struggling in this issue. It has to be a struggle. If it's not even a struggle, then we don't take it to heart.